Hey Eurovision fans, it's time for my deep dive analysis of Eesti Laul 2025, Estonia's national final. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the lineup, who I think are the contenders to win. Then I'm going to give you my top 10 and we're also going to look at the community top 10. So let's kiki. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tom. I'm an Irish Eurovision analyst and you can find all of this stuff on my Eurovision channel. So in case you hadn't seen it already, I've done a reaction to all 15 of the songs in Eesti Laul 2025. We are getting one more song, which is a wild card vote. We don't have that yet, so I'm just going to work on the 15 that we have already. If the wild card song comes out of nowhere and wins, that'll be another notch in what is turning out to be quite a crazy season already. So first of all, let's talk about my general thoughts about Eesti Laul so far. I think it's a pretty good national final that has a good amount of variety. It does feel like we're hitting different types of genres. Also feel like it's showing off the Estonian music scene, which is cool as well. I think it's really important to remember that Estonia only has 1.36 million people. So the fact that they are able to produce such a very decent national final every single year with such a small amount of people is actually really incredible. Like, they've pretty much got the same amount of people that Cyprus does, and every year they've got a very good standard. And that's just a testament to the fact that they have built up this brand over many years, and they reap the benefits of that a lot of people aspire to be in Eesti Laul. So in general, I think it's a decent national final. As an Eesti Laul, I think it's kind of in the middle. I've covered 5 Eesti Lauls now on this channel. I don't think it's the best one. I don't think it's the worst either. I've got a couple of songs I've downloaded, especially in comparison to Supernova this year, which has been like one of the best Supernovas ever. It's a little bit of a Baltic contrast that you can see that Eesti Laul just isn't as good. Despite that, I do think there are interesting songs and storylines going throughout this national final, so I'm still excited. Let's talk about the main elephant in the room, and that is Tommy Cash, who is a very established star in Estonia. I didn't realize how actually he's got like quite a decent level of international fame. First of all, let's talk about the song. It's very catchy. Now, I've seen a lot of people are kind of disappointed. I get that a little bit because I was expecting something like really incredible Eurovision winning level. I don't think it's that. It's got an incredible hook that was 100% in my head. Very easy to digest and process. As I said in my reaction video, it feels like it's got lots of different chapters and stanzas. So it's going to lend itself to a lot of scenes changes on the stage. So it really feels like it's being written with the Eurovision performance in mind. But yeah, song-wise, I can see why a couple of people are disappointed. I do think expectations were super high as well. A lot of his fans have been leaving comments saying that actually he's got other better songs. They don't think that this is his strongest work, but maybe it's part of his full plan package for Eurovision, and this is what fits in with the visual plan that he wants to put forward. It might also be that he just needed to water it down a little bit. I don't know if you've seen his music video Unce Unce, but that's very risky. Don't watch that with anyone under 18. Interestingly, there have been a lot of comments saying that they think this is kind of stupid. Some people saying they absolutely love it. The key thing I note though is that people are talking about it. So most of the comments on my Eesti Laul video are about Tommy Cash. So whether you like it or don't like it, it evokes conversation and it draws your attention, and that's a key thing for Eurovision entries. Sometimes the phrase "there's no such thing as bad publicity" is true. That's actually a pretty good sign for a Eurovision song that people care and want to talk and look and see what you've got. I've also seen a lot of people taking some umbrage with the lyrics. A few Italians feeling that the lyrics are quite offensive in terms of cultural appropriation. So it'll be interesting to see, is that a sentiment that's going to grow in that? Is there going to be a backlash against this from Italian speaking communities? In terms of the visual aspect, I didn't realize what a visual artist he is. So the music video is a homage to Andy Warhol's Eating a Hamburger, which I believe was filmed by a Danish photographer who visited Warhol in New York, took this 5-minute video of him eating a hamburger. And at the end of the video, he says, "My name is Andy Warhol and I just ate a hamburger." The music video for me was very much a teaser of what potentially we could get visually from Tommy Cash. I also didn't realize that he is someone who is very involved in the art world. He has this entire section on Wikipedia which talks about the stunts that he does in fashion shows in Europe. Paris and Milan, all these big fashion shows. So there's this entire section on Wikipedia if you want to go read it, but he basically trolls these fashion shows getting dressed up. It seems like he's being invited as well because, you know, one of them he's been given front row seats. So I don't think he's always been thrown out of it. He's dressed up as Anna Wintour. He's dressed up as a Bambushka. He dressed up as French mime artist Marcel Marceau. The key point is that he seems involved in the art world. He's a visual artist and he likes to shock and he likes to be controversial. Again, watch that music video, Uns Uns, and I was shocked just from the censored version. So the uncensored version would, well, let's not even go there. So I'm expecting something really huge from this in terms of a stage show. With many of the artists in Eesti Laul this year, I think we've seen 90 to 95% of what we're going to get from them. And most of them are just going to be playing by the regular Eesti Laul or national final playbook. Tommy Cash isn't. We've only seen 50% of his package, and the other 50% is going to be the visual part, which is just as equal to the song. Similar to Windows 95 Man last year, but Tommy Cash feels like leagues above Windows 95 Man, no offense to him. So my key feeling is that I'm incredibly excited to see what he's going to bring to the stage, because I feel like he's got millions of ideas, and the problem is he doesn't know which of his ideas he's going to pick. Whereas with a lot of the other artists, like, they're going to stand and look pretty and have some LEDs and maybe have a sparkly dress. Whereas Tommy, I think, is trying to think of the most incredible way to blow our minds and really make a statement. And there's going to be some trolling in it as well. He's worked with Little Big and Carrier in the past. I really feel like he is in this category of Little Big, Carrier, Joost and Baby Lasagna. These kind of unconventional bad boys that we've had in recent years. He definitely fits into that niche. I believe he has a quote saying that he wants to finish what Joost and Carrier started. He also put in the caption of his music video, Eurovision 2025 winner. The whole thing is very exhilarating for me. I'm going to be honest. I'm so excited to see what he's going to bring. Not everyone's going to like it, but a lot of people are going to be talking about it. Is he going to win Eesti Laul? I feel like Estonians won't want to give up this opportunity where kind of their biggest star is like offering to represent them. I'm going to talk, there are other options that are strong and could have a chance as well. Is his fandom going to turn out? He has almost 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Are those people going to watch Eesti Laul for him? And are they going to show up and vote for him? I think if he uses his social media and he wants them to, he can get them into a flurry and they'll vote for him. There are other people who also have big fan bases as well, so I don't think he can just be complacent and assume that he's going to win. But yes, my gut instinct is that Estonians are going to be so curious in a morbid way to see what is he going to do. And this is the type of person with an X factor who could get a stunning great result. I'm not saying that he's going to win, but this type of like weird out there left field entry is the type of thing that's competing for the top spots in recent Eurovision. Let's look at some of the other entries first, and then after that I'll talk about some of the ways he might not win. Okay, so the first category, let's look at, I'm calling this winter pop. This is pop which has a slight Estonian feel to me, and in this category we have Ant, Anne Marlin and Yannick. I think Ant is one of the big people in this category. He just won Eesti Otsib Superstari, which I believe is the equivalent to Estonian Idol. He's originally from Turkey, but he's been in Estonia for the last 6 years. I believe he's married to Estonian and he has 2 children now. So we know that he's going to be incredible live. He's just come off winning basically Estonian Idol in the same way that Alika did, and then she went on to win Eesti Laul as well. He's got a very jury-friendly song. There's no way that he's going to get bombed by the jury at all. So it feels like he's a definite contender to make the 3-person super final. I assume that we're keeping the same format for Eesti Laul, which is that we have the jury and televote the first round converted into points from 1 to 12, and then the top 3 go to the super final, which is just televote. So he's got a definite chance to make that super final. We also have Anne Marlin, who's singing in Estonian. This song is really, really popular in the community. We do know that the community loves a beautiful woman singing a bop. But yeah, this is getting a lot of love. I like this entry because it's got something a little bit unique. It's not particularly for me. I'm not going to download this, but I like that it's not like a standard pop song. She's mixing it up a little bit. She's giving us a little bit of Estonian flair and flavor. I personally think that if this did go to Bal, it wouldn't work with casuals. They would just be like, what the hell is this? Because it's a bit too weird, but not in a way that I think casuals enjoy. I think casuals enjoy weird, like Tommy Cash weird. I don't think they enjoy niche Estonian style of dancey pop. We also have Yannick in this category with his song Frozen, which is written by Kjetil Moreland, which you may know from Monster Like Me from Norway. Was it 2015 or 14? 15, because 14 was the Cube stage. He's been in before with the song House of Glass. Yeah, he seems to be a bit of a fan favorite as well. I have to admit, of those 3, for me, Ant seems the most likely. He's coming on with that great momentum. I think the song, it sounds the most put together, the most standard, high quality pop song, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see what the live performances are. But I think all 3 of these people are going to be very good live. I think they're going to give solid performances. Okay, next up, this category I'm tentatively calling Thinky People. And the first we have Minimal Wind, Tolerand, France. Big one here for me is Minimal Wind. I believe Minimal Wind used to be a band and it was featuring the female lead singer, and then she actually joined them permanently, and now she is part of Minimal Wind. This seems like the strongest song in this category for me. They won the jury back then and got through to the super final, and then I believe it came second. I think this is the stronger song. Really, really lovely. A little bit of a slow burn. I don't know if it's a perfect song for Eurovision, but really, really beautifully done. The music video had some interesting ideas behind it as well. I'm hoping they're going to bring a little bit of an interesting concept instead of just having them perform as a band on stage. Bring some of those interesting ideas from the music video on. Try and compete with Tommy Cash. Don't let him like steal the show and be the only one who's got something interesting to say. Other people now need to step up and do something more than just standing there. Think outside the box a little bit. We also have Toulirand, who I don't think has any chance. We have France, who is giving that kind of George Ezra vibe. I believe that he's been in Eesti Laul before working with other artists, but this is his first time as a solo artist. Definitely from this section, I feel like Minimal Wind is the strongest one. I think they're going to do very well with the jury. Totally plausible that they will win the jury once again. If you win the jury, you've got a really, really good shot at going through to the super final. So Minimal Wind potentially in the super final, maybe Tommy Cash as well, who could be the third person. It's going to be competitive to get into that super final. Let's go to the next section, which I'm calling Edgelords. These are people with something a little bit different. Obviously, Tommy would be in this section, but I already gave him his own section. He doesn't need two sections. Andre seems to be the big one here. I was very surprised to see that he's leading the Eurovision scoreboard, because generally the Eurovision scoreboard doesn't tend to skew towards male artists in this way, with something a little bit more clubby feeling. So really, really interesting. I thought his song had an interesting sound. I just felt it was a bit too repetitive. Also, Carita, who is his girlfriend, according to Epic's Eurovision guy, this is her first time performing live on stage, or one of her first times. So she's very much an unknown entity in terms of singing live. I think she really would have benefited if there had been a semi-final. The fact that we're going straight into a 16-person final, she won't have like a preliminary round to practice on. She's going straight into the fire. So that could potentially hurt her, but she may rise to the occasion. Andre's been in before. He came 12th in 2019, 5th in 2021, and 6th in 2022. He's also got, I think, around 150,000 subscribers on YouTube. So definitely someone who can rival Tommy for like riling up a fan base. So I definitely think he's a contender as well. I feel like there's 4 people who are really competing for those 3 spots in the super final. And which 3 make it through could really influence who wins. Okay, I've also put in Stereo Terror. A lot of people saying that this sounds like Electric Callboy We Got the Moves, but a worse version of that. Fell in with her Avril Lavigne-esque song coming from Sweden. I don't think that's going to be a contender either. And we also have Gem98, who I'm interested to see as well. Really love the sound of his song, but I do feel like it's a little bit too repetitive, just kind of running out of ideas towards the later part. But I'm also hoping that he's going to do something interesting on stage as well. But yeah, these are the people who are kind of doing something a little bit different, not going by like the very typical pop structure. And then leftover, that's a little bit harsh. But then we have the kind of more standard pop ladies. We have Anna Selene, Elisa, and Joelle. For me, these 3 are bringing absolutely nothing original whatsoever. I do love a standard pop song, but for me, like Ant, for example, is bringing that, but with a really, really good melody and some great vocals, whereas Anna, Elisa, and Joelle, I'm just not getting anything original from it. Joelle, I think, has got very strong vocals, but the song does nothing for me. Very much X Factor winner. And then Anna Selene is just giving us a Melfest reject Schlager song. So looking forward to her though. I think that she's going to have a really fun performance on the Eesti Laul stage. Generally though, a little bit disappointed with the female bop songs this year. I think that they're pretty weak. Then again, I don't really look to Eesti Laul for my female bop fix. I feel I can get that from other national finals. Let's talk about some of the scenarios that could happen. Like I said, I think there's 4 people who are competing for those super final spots based on current information. Things can change with the live show. Tommy Cash, Ant, Andre, and Minimal Wind. Now, keep in mind, this first round is 50% jury, 50% televote. The points are converted, so even if you win the televote by a million billion miles, you still only get 12 points. I think Minimal Wind are definitely in with a shot to win the jury, and that's going to put them in a good position. I think Ant will do well as well. As for Tommy Cash, I don't know how the jury is going to react to them. I think it depends. Are they from Estonia? Are they from international? I believe the international jury is scrapped this year. I think ESC Gabe said that. If that is the case, it's going to be Estonian jurors and they're not going to know who Tommy Cash is. And I think they're going to be a little bit afraid to mark him down. I think also the Eesti Laul producers are going to be like, we have like our biggest star on the show. We don't want to kill them in the jury. It doesn't look good. There's a potential for him to get killed by the jury. I'm hoping it won't happen. I also am hoping that he picks the right tone in his visual performance, that the jury are going to respect it. Whereas if he does something that's a little bit too vulgar, maybe the jury might penalize him for that. And then we have Andre as well. Again, Andre came 5th and 6th in the past, so maybe out of those 3, I would think he might be the one who might miss out on the super final. Yeah, he's doing so well on the Eurovision scoreboard, much better than I expected. He's even beating the girly bops. Okay, so one scenario that Tommy Cash doesn't win is that he doesn't make the super final. Another scenario is, for example, if Tommy Cash, Andre, and someone very, very different like Minimal Wind or Ant are in the final as the 3rd person. I think if you don't like this kind of more alternative feel of Tommy Cash or Andre, you only have one option. So you can kind of vote for that 3rd person, voting against Tommy Cash and Andre. This is one of the things I don't like about super finals. It allows you to vote against people, which isn't something that happens at Eurovision, so it's totally artificial. I don't like it as a concept. It's not as bad as when there's a 2-person semi-final where you really are able to vote against one person. At least with 3 people, it's harder to vote negatively. So I don't think this is a done deal for Tommy Cash. I think he needs to absolutely bring his A game. I think he's going to do that. I think this is a great opportunity for him to show off his art visually, and I don't think he's going to want to waste it. Okay, let's have a look at my top 10, and on my number 3 slot, I have Minimal Wind, which I would not have guessed coming into this because I really didn't care for their entry before. But I really like this song. It feels like it's got this really lovely storytelling build. It doesn't like grow into this big mad fluster. It's a little bit more understated, but I think it's really, really gorgeous. I like that they told some story in the music video. It shows me a little bit more thinking and strategy and ambition this year. So this is my number 3. My number 2 is And. This is a really solidly written pop song with some great vocals in it. And the fact he's won Eesti Laul makes me think that he is going to be able to sing this live. So I'm excited to see this. I feel this is a really safe, solid entry. I think if Estonia did pick this, it would probably qualify. I don't think it would be an easy qualifier, probably borderline, and it would do nothing in the final. It would be down kind of 20th or so. So I feel like this is their safer qualify but do nothing option. And then my number 1 by absolute miles, like 2-3 times more, is Tommy Cash. Absolutely love this. I'm gonna admit this song is not as super wow as I was expecting, but for me this is a visual thing. I love those visuals. The fact that he's referencing pop art from the 80s with Andy Warhol, it's just another level above everybody else in terms of bringing something that's thought-provoking, evocative, interesting. I'm really curious to see what he's gonna do. I'm 10 times more excited to see what he's going to do than everybody else combined. I think he's got a million ideas, and it depends which one of those he picks is really going to decide his fate. Is he going to go really trolly naughty, or is he going to go high art? I actually haven't looked in the Eurovision scoreboard in a while. No, it's still Andre. I'm so surprised at Andre, and he's got a big lead over Anne Marlin. So Anne Marlin and Elisa, that's very much what the Eurovision scoreboard community tends to like. So those are the ones I expect to be in the lead. I'm so surprised by Andre though. So that could be a really good sign for him that he's going to get some popular support. People are excited about this. Tommy Cash down in 4th, Yannick in 5th, Minimal Wind in 6th and in 7th. So maybe Ant might not be the main pop song. I'm basing it on the fact he won Eesti Laul, but maybe Anne Marlin or Yannick might come in as that kind of pop alternative in the super final. I presume we're going to get one pop person in the super final, but it could be Andre, Tommy Cash and Minimal Wind. That would be a very alternative super final. Anna Salin down in 8th, Storyteller fell in, and then right down the bottom we have Gem. Okay, let's have a look at the Discord rankings quickly as well. Now this is a lot less people, only around 300, but that's being led by Minimal Wind, Armageddon. 2nd is Andre, 3rd is Anne Marlin. 4th we have Ant, and Espresso Macchiato is down in 7th place with the Discord community. Smaller community, but it's nice to see a different viewpoint. The common thread there being that Andre and Anne Marlin are high up. So maybe Anne Marlin could be in that super final also. So I'm very excited for Eesti Laul. It is going to be a little bit difficult to watch because it's happening on the 15th of February, which also has the Lithuanian national final, San Remo, Melodi Grand Prix from Norway. So we have 4 countries choosing their song. So we are going to have to juggle things. I will do my best to live stream that and try and juggle it all around so we get it all in. So make sure that you're subscribed so you get a notification when that is happening. No new donations on PayPal or Buy Me Coffee, but if you want to support the channel, I've links to you in the description down below. And of course, thank you to all my wonderful patrons for patronizing me from all around the world, and all the people who just joined on a 7-day free trial. You can do that if you want to try it out. But thank you so much just for being here, and I hope to see you in another Eurovision analysis video very soon. Goodbye. Blah, 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 blah.